Morning. Okay, so on request, I'm doing more beginner style yoga. So it's kind of like foundations, just going through the postures nice and slow, building it up so that you've got a good kind of foundational knowledge of how to do the basic postures. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to go through is our breathing. So you can be in kneeling, you can be sitting, you can sit in a chair for all I care. So if you're sitting and you feel very rounded and sitting, put some cushions underneath your bottom. Okay, so in sitting, we're just going to come simply to the breath, okay? So really important is to be able to connect with the breath when you're doing yoga. So you're going to put one hand on your belly, okay, and the other hand on your chest. Just nice and easy to start off. And I want you to just to close off your eyes and become aware of where your breath is. So just notice what happens when you breathe in and what happens when you breathe out. So you should be noticing a gentle rise of the hand on your tummy. When we're at rest and relaxed, our chest shouldn't be involved so much in our breathing. So it should be nice and relaxed. The diaphragm is what's allowing the tummy to rise. You're not forcing it. And you should just notice that gentle rise. And then as you breathe out, you should notice a sense of letting go. Nice and relaxed. So a sign that we're stressed or in pain or anxious is our sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive, and that will be chest breathing, okay? The only thing that we can do about that is bring our awareness to our breath, and that will stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our nice relaxed state rather than flight or fight sympathetic nervous system. So we want to be in that nice relaxed tummy breathing when we're doing our yoga. So just keeping the eyes closed. Keep the awareness there, and eventually that chest breathing will calm down. The rise of your tummy will be barely discernible because you're so relaxed. Okay, and then from here, relax the hands down by your side. I'm just going to connect some movements with the breath. So you're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, bend over to the left. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the left. So if there's somebody in the room with you, they shouldn't really be able to hear you breathing. But you should be able to hear your own breath. Breathing out all the way over to the right. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. So your buttocks are staying nice and firm down to the ground. There's no lifting off. So one last time on each side. And out. Breathe in. And out. Back to center. Bring your elbows by your side and your palms facing up, okay? And from here we're going to draw the right hand back, left hand forwards into a twist. And And back to center on the inhale, exhale to the left. Inhale back to center, exhale twist. Inhale back to center, exhale twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to come slowly onto our backs. Okay, so you're going to lie right onto your back and you're hugging your knees into your chest. Okay, so you're getting a nice little back stretch here. You can roll from side to side. And then you're going to straighten the left leg onto the mat. And then you're going to hold on to the back of your thigh. Rest your shoulder blades down onto the ground. Tuck your chin in slightly. And then you're just going to straighten that right leg as much as you can. So it might only be to here, might be all the way up, whatever is comfortable for you. But you shouldn't be, really pushing it out in this stretch. It's nice and gentle. You're just going to add in some toe movements. So you're bending your foot up and down. Feeling that lengthening in the right hamstring. The left leg is grounded down. So make that left leg work while you're here. So you really want to press the left leg down into the ground so you're active through the thigh muscles. So you can do this with your breath as well. Inhale, point away, exhale towards. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then you're going to bring that right foot to the inside of your left knee, and you're just going to allow that right knee to open out to the side. Okay, so we're just stretching out through that right groin. If you want, you can bring your foot up towards your hip and then grasp onto the knee and press it gently away. Left leg stays down. But basically you're either letting it fall out, depends on how tight your hips are. Your shoulder blades are staying down, check in with your breathing again. Your neck should be nice and relaxed. And then bend the knee in towards you, and this time you're going to take your right knee in your left hand and you're going to come into a twist. So bring that left knee or the right knee all the way over to the left, and try and keep your right shoulder blade down here. So you might want, your right shoulder might want to come as well with the right side, but the aim is to try and keep that right shoulder down on the mat. You should feel the twist into your ribs. And then back to center, hug both knees into your chest. And you're going to straighten your right leg down onto the ground, toes pointing towards the ceiling. Imagine that you're trying to stretch your foot far away from your pelvis and you're making that leg work really hard. So that right leg is pressing down into the mat. The muscles are nice and active as you take the back of your left hamstring, and then you're going to try and straighten that leg. Only as far as you can, not till it's tightening up in response to you pushing a little bit too firmly. So nice and gentle, and then you're going to point the toes away, pull your toes towards you. Connect it with the breath. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. bend that left foot to the inside of the right knee. Let the knee fall out to the side. That doesn't feel like it's giving you a stretch. Walk the foot up closer to the hip, and then you can just press gently on the inside of the knee. Keep that right pelvis down. Keep that right leg active. Keep the connection with your breath. There's so much to do while you're lying here on the floor. And then we're going to come into a twist. So we're taking the hands to the outside of the left knee this time. And you're bringing the left knee over towards the right side. So see that left shoulder blade is staying down. Okay. And you can keep your head looking straight ahead, or you can turn to look at your left hand. And you can use your right hand to press that knee away, down towards the ground. It can touch the ground or it can be hovering. But you should be feeling a twist here through the left side. And an opening through the left shoulder. Back to center. Hug the knees into your chest. So the idea here is that we're warming up the spine. We're lengthening through our hamstrings, which will allow our spine to move a little bit better. And now we're going to go into a little bit more active postures, okay? So you're going to come over onto your hands and knees. Alright, so in hands and knees, the first thing I want you all to get when you're on your hands and knees is your hands, okay? Fingers are spread as wide as they can be, so spread the fingers apart. Your thumb and your index finger want to buckle up when you're on your hands and knees. You want to make sure that there's no space between the mat and your thumb and your index finger. So the whole hand is pressing down. This will make life a lot easier on your wrists, okay? Because the hand is active. You can even grip the mat back with your fingertips, okay? But basically you're pressing down into the ground. So your shoulders shouldn't be forwards off the wrists. That's going to put too much pressure off them. The shoulders should be slightly behind the wrists, okay? Or directly above. Imagine that you're trying to stretch the mat apart with your arms, and then you're bringing your shoulders down and back, okay? And that sense that you're pushing yourself away from the mat as well. So we're making the arms really, really active here. So shoulders are having to work, muscles are engaged, so we're not going to hang through our joints, okay? So we're pushing into the earth to really get strength through our limbs. Okay, hips are directly above the knees, and then we're just going to inhale, cat pose, cow pose, I never know which. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and back. Inhale, tip your pelvis forwards. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round through the spine. Inhale, and I'll show you from the side, okay? So we've got our arms nice and active. We've got our hips over our knees. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale, round and look back. One more time each way. Inhale. Exhale. Let's come then to neutral spine. So we're not arched, we're not rounded, we're just somewhere in the middle, okay? Shoulders are down and back. Pushing your body away from the mat. What we're going to do here is a gentle lift through our navel, so our belly button's gently, not forcefully drawn back towards our spine to keep our spine in neutral as we lift one leg. Okay, toes point towards the floor. That might be enough for you, or if you want a challenge, you can lift the left arm as well. Okay, so you can see the balance goes a little bit. You try, if you can, to tuck your chin slightly in so that the back of your neck is long. Shoulders are down and back, pelvis is level, thigh rolls slightly inward, so it's not opening up towards the ceiling, it's rolling slightly in. Breathe. And lower. Okay. Opposite side. Okay, then fingers are spread. You can feel the wrists and the arms warming up. We're just going to lift that left leg, press away into the mat with both hands. If it feels able, lift that right hand. Shoulders are down and back of the neck's long, spine's not moving here. Pelvis is level, toes point, left toes point towards the mat. And lower the knee down. Okay, same again on the opposite side. If you need a wee break, you're always welcome to come back into child's pose. So sitting your bottom on your heels, resting your head down. Okay, so right leg lifts, spine doesn't move, toes point towards the ground, hamstrings are active. Lift the left arm, shoulders down and back. You don't want to sink that pelvis as you lift. Keep the ribs lifted. Keep the belly button slightly drawn in. Back of the neck is long. Focus on your breathing. Focus on the hand. Is that thumb and index finger still pressing down? And lower down. Swap sides. Left leg lifts. Right arm lifts. Belly is engaged slightly. Back of the neck is long. Shoulders are down and back. Really nice. Breathe into the belly. So your belly shouldn't be so firm that you can't breathe nicely and relaxed into the belly. Pressure shoulders away from your wrists so you're making your limbs nice and long and active. Okay, once more on each side. Have a rest in child's pose if you need. Shoulders down and back, ribs lifted. Right leg lifts, toes point down, left arm lifts. Imagine that you're trying to bring your armpit towards your hip on the right side. Good. So you've got nice length through the spine, length through the limbs. Trying to grow ourselves tall just isn't working. And swap sides. Left leg lifts, shoulders down and back, right arm lifts, back of the neck long. Breathe into the belly. And lower back down. Child's pose. So bottom on your heels, tuck that tailbone under. You're trying to get roundness into the spine. Stretch the hands forward, hands even, head rests down. And then let's come up to kneeling. Okay, so in kneeling, our shoulders are directly above our ribs are directly above our pelvis, and our pelvis is directly above our knees. Now let's see, can we raise our arms without any of that changing? Sounds easy, but if you're really super flexible, you want to do this. If you're really stiff in the upper back, you're going to want to do this. So nice and slow again, slowly raise the arms up, palms are facing each other, chin is tucked slightly in and you're looking straight ahead. Breathe into the belly. Bring the left arm forwards and the right arm back into a twist. So you're trying to stretch the fingertips apart. Breathe into the ribs. You can try and turn your head if that feels comfortable. Dropping your shoulders away from your ear and your ear away from your shoulders. Inhale back to center. This time the left hand's going back, the right hand's going forwards. Inhale back back to the center. Bring the hands down onto the mat, and we're going to step our left leg forwards here. Okay, so we're in our kneeling lunge position, okay, and you're just going to come gently forwards with your pelvis. So bring your pelvis forwards as far as you can, as far as is comfortable on both knees, okay, and you can hold this position or you can raise your hands up. And here the ribs are going to want to splay forwards. Try and bring those ribs back. And then you're gently bringing that pelvis directly above the right knee. And then lower, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. So left knee comes down, right foot comes forwards, okay? And then you're either going to come forwards and stay forwards on your fingertips if that feels like right for you, and that's giving a stretch out through the hips. Otherwise you're going to come all the way up, reaching the hands up. And lower down, right foot back, left foot forwards. Okay, all the way forwards with the pelvis. What we're going to do here is give you a progression, so it's an option, you don't have to, but you can tuck your toes under and you can lift the right knee. Okay, and then you can stay here on your fingertips, or you can come all the way up like we did before. Looking forwards, ribs back, left knee forwards. Inhale, exhale. Lower the hands, lower the knee if it was up, get the left foot back. Right foot forwards. Sink that pelvis down and forwards. Hold it here if you wish. Otherwise you're going to tuck your toes and you're going to lift that leg. Left leg even. If you want, hold this position. Otherwise you can come all the way up. Hands all the way forward, so the right knee is bent directly above that right heel. The left heel is pushing away, so you're stretching the mat apart with your feet. Ribs are back, really nice. And lower the hands down. And just one more time on each side, so left foot forwards. Lean the pelvis forwards, your shoulders are down and back, you're nice and long through your spine. Hold this position or tuck your toes under, lift the right knee. Hold this position or come all the way up. Lower the hands down, lower the knee. Step the foot back. Right foot forwards. Okay. Sink the pelvis forwards. Hold it here or tuck the toes. Lift the left knee off the mat. Stretch the mat apart. Imagine that your right heel is going forward, left toes are going back. If you want, come all the way up. And lower back down. Press back into child's pose. Okay, what we're going to go through now is a couple of different options for downward dog. So I'm going to use the mantelpiece here, but you can use your wall. The skirting board's really nice to practice your downward dog up against. So the first thing we're going to do is bring our hands up against the wall or the mantelpiece or whatever you have near you, okay? And what we're doing with the hands on the first posture is bringing our thumb and index to the wall, okay? So you're kind of getting that outward rotation through the shoulders to really open you up through the shoulders. So basically your hands are going to be like that against the wall. So they're in line with your shoulders, so your wrists are in line with your shoulders, and your thumb and index finger are touching the wall. The fingers are still spread nice and wide, okay, and your shoulders are directly behind slightly of the wrists. Okay, and what this is going to do is open up your armpit towards your wrists, and then you're on your tippy toes,
and you're pushing back through your arms, and you should feel a little bit more openness through the shoulders. Bend your knees as much as you need to lift those hips up into the sky and get length through the spine. And then you're pushing back through your hands. Your shoulders are really active here. You're getting this good stretch into the shoulders. If it's comfortable for you, you can lower your heels, but you don't need to lower your heels. It's more about getting the openness through the shoulders and the length through the spine, okay? And lower down. Okay, and we're just going to come back up into that one more time. Okay, so the hands aren't changing position. You bring the shoulders directly above the wrists, push into your hands, lift your knees, lift your hips, press back. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Feel that openness through the shoulders, feel the stretch in the back of the shoulders. And then come back down. And then this time you're just going to move your hand position. So your fingers are pointing straight forwards. And you're just going to compare the feeling. So your shoulders are back, slightly behind the wrists. Your toes tuck under. You push back with your shoulders. So push into your hands. Imagine that you're trying to push it into the wall. And you should feel less of a stretch on the shoulders, but hopefully you're feeling that more open, more active through the arms. And slowly lower down. Okay, then you're going to change and you're going to bring your heels to the wall, okay? So walk your feet to your wall or your to the skirting board, and you're going to pop your heels on it, okay? So you're going to have your heels up nice and high, okay? And then you're going to walk your hands forwards so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Then you're going to bend your knees and lift your hips nice and high, okay? So keep the knees as bent as you need to so that your hips are really high and that you're not rounding here with straight legs. You want height, as much height as you can, and that's the idea of lifting the heels up onto the wall, is to get that height, okay? And then you're pressing your shoulders back, so you're trying to get your shoulders and your bum almost to meet, but it's not going to because there's the spine in the way. Good. And lower down. Okay, so you should be feeling that you're getting a little bit more height, a little bit more length by using the lifting the heels, okay? So just by practicing, okay? The more you practice downward dog, the easier it becomes. Okay, so lift those heels up nice and high. You can walk them up the wall as much as you can, okay? Bend your knees, press your shoulders back, keeping your hips high, and then you can slowly move towards straightening the knees and lowering the heels. You see though that there's lots of room there for my lower back to be in a nice arched position rather than to be rounded. Press your hands way into the mat. Really nice. Breathing's nice and smooth. And lower the knees down. Okay, really nice. Okay, shake out the wrists. You might be feeling it after that. You can pull your fingers back towards your wrists. Make a fist, circle the wrists. Really nice. Circle the opposite way. And bring the whole arm into it, so you're giving shoulders a bit of a stretch. Palms up, fist, palms back. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, let's come up to standing, okay? So in standing, we're going to just practice what it feels like to have our weight nice and centered, okay? So what I want is your feet together. I want you to press down into your heels, and I want you to firm your thighs, okay? So you're making your legs really active, pressing down into the ground. Your fingers are pressing towards the mat. Back of your neck is long, okay? So if you look from the side, Pressing down into the heels, firm in your buttocks, firm in your thighs. Back of the neck is long, ribs are back. See, can you raise the arms up, keeping the ribs down? And back down. Okay, from here, we're going to come into a bent knee posture. So you're just going to bend your knees and you're going to uncurl your fingertips to the ground, okay? So fingertips are on the ground, and you can bend your knee as much as you need to bring your torso onto your thighs. If it's available to you, you can straighten your legs and lengthen through your spine. So it's going to look very different depending on the length of your hamstrings, really. You might be in this position, or you might be in this position. Chin is tucked in, back of the neck is long. Your heels are wanting to twist in the way. Try and push your heels apart. Try and lift through the arches of the feet, so the inner feet. And then if you want a little bit of extra work, you're going to bring your hands up behind, okay? So you're bringing the shoulder blades together, ribs lift, back of the neck is long, fingertips lift towards the ceiling, but the palms are facing towards your hips. So if you're bent, it's just going to look a little bit different, but the same thing. Relax the fingertips to the ground, bend and fold. And we'll just do that one more time, okay? So raise the arms up, palms are facing in towards the side, shoulders down and back, back of the neck lengthens. This might be where you are for today, otherwise you're aiming to straighten the legs a little bit more, lift through your ribs, lift, imagine that you're pressing the back of your head up towards the ceiling, fingertips lift nice and high, really nice. Press the mat apart with your feet. Lift through your ribs, back of the neck lengthens. Imagine somebody's got your head and they're pulling you out of your pelvis. Good, and fold forwards. And then spread the hands apart. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale back to center. Okay, so now we're going to come into a balance pose. Sometimes the mat can be a little bit thick and it can make the exercise a bit more challenging. So if you feel that your mat's really thick and you're very wobbly, step onto the floor, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to do a balance pose called tree pose. Okay, and the idea here is to build up the strength in one leg and to build up your balance and concentration. So you're going to bring your eyes focusing on a point that's not moving. So don't look at me once you're set into the pose. So you're either just going to come to where your toes touch the ground, so your foot's against the inside of your ankle and your knee is just slightly turned out the way. Okay, and that might be enough for you. Otherwise, you're going to try and lift your foot to the inside of your calf. No foot inside the knee, okay? That's the one thing that's not allowed here. Knee's a hinged joint and you're just going to press into it and it's not going to like it, okay? So you're trying to get that right hip open and out. Your foot's either against your calf, the ground, or all the way into the ground. Wherever is available for you. But imagine that your foot, so for me, my foot and my groin are pressing against each other. So I'm not sticking my hips out to the left, I'm pressing my hips into the foot and the foot into the ground. So the left leg is really, really active here. You should feel your whole foot on the ground. And then you're going to bring your hands to heart center or to your hips or out to the side or all the way up. It depends on where you feel the most balanced, I suppose. Ooh.
And then just focus on your point and your breathing. And then slowly lower down. Check out that left leg. It's been doing a lot of work. Okay, and then we're going to come on to the right side. So make your both legs nice and active, fingers pointing towards ground, back of the neck long. Press into your right heel, outer border of the right foot. Feel the weight through the balls of the feet, and then you lift to toe touch, ankle, calf, groin, wherever is most comfortable for you. Ooh, very wobbly tree today, so maybe we'll just do ankle today, hands to heart center. Relax the hands down, relax the legs, shake them out. Okay, come on, head down into sitting. Okay, so you're going to sit in your bum, grab a cushion. Most of us will need a cushion for this one, or maybe two, maybe three. And we're going to have a seat. Okay, so in sitting, so problems come up depending on your hips and your knees and how much they're going to allow you to sit on the ground. So you just make it suit you, these positions, okay? So just sit. If you literally can't sit cross-legged, you can sit with the legs out, spread out in front, and you can have one leg in, the other leg out, whatever feels comfortable for you, okay? So I'm going to come into a cross-legged position. And we're going to come into a twist again. So we started with some twists and some side bends. So we're going to finish off with some twists, some side bends, and a forward fold to relax us down before we lie down into Shavasana, which is our meditation sort of posture. So again, breathe in, okay, and this time we're going to take our left hand to the outside of the right knee. Breath in, lengthen through your spine. Breath out, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. So you're trying to look over that right shoulder. So each time you breathe out, you're feeling an extra twist through the rib cage. Turn your head back to your left shoulder and then twist back to the center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to center, and then we're going to come into that side bend again, but we're going to hold the side bend this time. So inhale, reach up. Exhale all the way over. Keep that left buttock pressing firmly down into your cushion. Breathe all the way into the left side ribs. Take a nice deep breath here. And
Exhale. So this time we're going to breathe in for 4, breathe out for 4. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale all the way up. And then over to the left. Right arm lifts. Right buttock stays pressing down. Breathe in for 4. Inhale. Breathe out for 4. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale all the way back up. So we're going to come into our forward fold here. So bottoms are nice and high, okay? So depending again on the stiffness in your back, the length of your hamstrings, how this will look, okay? So I'm going to start with my knees bent, okay, to show you where you want to be. So you want to be nice and tall and sitting, okay? If you can't get nice and tall and sitting, get more cushions, okay? And then you're going to bring your torso onto your thighs. You can grasp your hands around the back of your foot, and you can simply try and round here like this. So you're like pressing your mid-back back to get some roundness in the spine. We want that bend in our spine. It's supposed to bend forwards, it's supposed to bend backwards. Okay, then if this just feels like you're not doing a whole pile, you can start to walk the feet forwards, bringing your torso onto your thighs, okay? So it's going to look very different for everyone, but allow your head to fall forward so you're getting a nice lengthening through the back of the neck as well. So I'm going to walk my feet out because my hamstrings allow that, okay? But I'm keeping upright, and then I'm going to fold forwards, okay? Straighten the knees towards the mat. Allow your chin to tuck into your chest. Exhale. Exhale. Focus on your breathing. You should notice it getting quieter and quieter and quieter. And then inhale all the way up into sitting. You're going to remove your cushions, and we're going to come down into the ground for Shavasana. So Shavasana is a lovely part of yoga when you literally just get to lie down onto your back and relax. So lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. You can hug your knees into your chest to give yourself a little bit of a stretch. And then lowering your legs back down onto the mat. If you've got a lot of arch in your lower back, the best thing is to probably put pillows under your knees, okay, or under your knees and your thighs, and that will allow the back to relax a little bit more into the mat and your ribs to sink down. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling or in toward your body, whatever feels most comfortable. You can grab a quick blanket if you want to stay here for an extra few minutes. But basically I want you closing down your eyes, allowing your ribs to sink into the mat on your breath out. Being aware of that gentle rise of the tummy again as you breathe in. You'll notice your thoughts starting to fly around and round, and that's fine. Just observe them. Trying not to get caught up in them, but not trying to block them out.
of your body on the mat. Rise of your tummy on your breath in. The sense of melting into the mat on your breath out. Checking in to see, do you feel tension anywhere? Bring your awareness to the tension and let it go. And then you can either continue lying there for another few minutes or slowly roll over onto your side. Press into the ground to come up into a seated position. And thank you. I hope you enjoyed that beginner focused session, nice and slow and gentle.